What? I've actually never seen that before. What the heck?
Yeah, there's a dude passed out on this table.
VR experiences can be very hit or miss, especially when it comes to the multiplayer, and that's why a while back when I came across Contractors, I was very pleasantly surprised to find that it was a pretty well-made game. It had a few kinks to iron out, especially in its multiplayer component where it counts, but I felt that if they improved on it, it would be a fantastic experience. And I decided to put the headset back on and check it out again, and well, I'm pleasantly surprised by it once again, and I want to talk about it again, because it surprised me. Let's talk about Contractors. So for those of you who aren't well acquainted with Contractors or VR multiplayer shooters, this one is essentially Call of Duty in VR. I don't know how else to put it. You have the simplest VR shooting mechanics when it comes to aiming down the sights, shooting, reloading, all of that. And it's tied up in a neat little package that basically presents itself as Call of Duty in VR. You got hit markers, your kill feed, bonus XP points whenever you do something like a headshot or a double kill, etc, etc. And it plays a lot like Call of Duty. So much so that there's custom Call of Duty maps in this game. Modders have taken pretty much every single Call of Duty map that you could think of and ported it over into Contractors beautifully, and it just works extremely well somehow. I'm going to be completely blunt with you. I'm not really a fan of Contractors maps from the developers. If the developers are watching this, I'm sorry. Contractors also recently implemented a zombies mode. Again, I'm not a big fan of it, and they have some other little things, but the bread and butter here is definitely in the multiplayer, and when you're playing on these custom maps, it is a blast. I mean, it really just kind of feels like you're playing Call of Duty in VR. It's got that addictive gameplay loop, and it's well organized. The thing that I really liked about Contractors over other multiplayer shooters like, say, Pavlov, is it feels less sandboxy. You see, in Pavlov, whenever I would jump into a game, it felt like I was joining a server that just would last forever. A game would go on and on and on, and there felt like there was no organization to it. But in Contractors, if you jump into a deathmatch or a team deathmatch, it's going to have a set amount of time and a set amount of kills, and it's going to feel like you're actually working to get a high score. The games will start and end on a consistent, well-paced basis, and it's just really satisfying to play. You kind of just get lost in it, and you just play one game after another, after another, and after another, and before you know it, you've been playing for 2 hours.
Ah, he's slicing motherfuckers.
Yeah, the guy with the katana.
Yeah, wet work.
The game doesn't focus too much on realism. The time to kill is pretty short. There's not a whole lot of weight to the weapons or the way you use things. It feels very arcadey and very simple. You can aim down the sights and like really make an effort to shoot that way, or you can just kind of look in the general direction and shoot like that. And you're not really punished too much on how you want to play. But that is essentially what Contractors is. Call of Duty multiplayer converted for virtual reality, and it's pretty good. But let's talk about the biggest caveat that I had with this. Like I said, to get the full experience of this game and to fully enjoy it for what it is, I feel like you have to have mods with the Call of Duty maps. If you're not playing on the Call of Duty maps, you're not getting the full experience here. I mean, there is just so much damn content that you can get through the mods tab in Contractors with all of the Call of Duty maps that it almost feels criminal. You're getting so much for the money here. You're playing on virtually every Call of Duty map that you can think of. You got Black Ops, Modern Warfare 2019, Modern Warfare 2, and that's not even mentioning maps like the Halo 3 maps that have been ported over, or the Counter-Strike maps like Pool Day over here. So you have so much content, and it was really disappointing to me to learn that while this was crossplay with the Quest, which is great because it allows you to have a giant player base, none of the Quest players were able to play these custom Call of Duty maps, which in turn made the player base for this side of the game extremely small unless you wanted to play on the dedicated Contractors maps, which to me significantly hurt the experience that you would get from this game if you were playing it on Quest. Luckily, I'm happy to report that sometime along in the future updates since I made that video, almost every single map is playable in crossplay now.
I love you, ya boy.
Thanks, man. You're the best.
This extensively expands the player base for Contractors so much, because the biggest problem with Contractors in these custom maps were that you had a very small PC player base. But now that you have Quest players too, there's a huge player base going on here right now, man. You will have no problem jumping into a game or starting up a server and getting it full of players anytime you want to play. The community on Contractors has seemed to grow tenfold, and it's beautiful. It does come with a slight drawback because of the graphical limitations, they've had to kind of pare back some of the graphics in these maps. When I first jumped into all of these Call of Duty maps, they were basically one-to-one recreations of the original maps with all of the same baked-in lighting and graphical elements to them. But now to fit them on the Quest, you'll notice some weird things with the lighting. Sometimes your gun will just be completely black. Or you'll notice if you look on a computer monitor, the actual image on the computer monitor has been changed. You'll notice some weird little texture swaps here and there, or just different visual elements that wouldn't have been there originally, which is a fair trade-off for me completely if it means you get to have all of these players onto these maps now.
Fuck off, dude.
There's almost no reason for people not to be using the crossplay compatible maps. And if you look on the mods tab, the most top downloaded maps are all crossplay maps. I mean, like right here, we got some raid gameplay going on, and raid plays amazing in Contractors outside of some weird wonky spawns and the fact that if you're playing domination, there's an extra flag added in. Just a little quirky, but it's not a big deal. Yeah, the graphics are pared back on a map like High Rise, but you know what? I'll take it. If it means we can play with everybody, fuck. Hell, if we're talking Call of Duty, if you're a person who's actually played Call of Duty, you would know that a huge issue with that game has always been the player base. All of those DLC map packs coming out and newer titles coming out would always split the player base, and there was no crossplay up until recently, which made it really hard to find players years into the game's launch. It's just kind of poetic that everybody can enjoy all of this great free content now. Another issue I had when I was playing Contractors with a friend is that it seemed kind of hard to add friends and get them in the same lobby as you, but seemingly that's been tightened up a little bit. I can add friends and I can invite them to a server that I've created. I think that you still have to be like, hey, join this server with me if you want to go and play on a separate server that's full of people. You kind of got to conversate with your friend and be like, hey, I'm going to jump into this game, jump into it with me at the same time, which is a little awkward. I wish you could like party up and then jump into a server, but again, it's not that big of a deal. My friend was on the Quest and I really had no problems playing with him crossplay.
I'm gonna go ahead and say it, but I gotta go because my headset's dying, but I love all y'all, okay?
And again, there's other stuff in this game that I would consider as bonus content that you can play, like the zombies mode. It's still a little weird that whenever you're spectating in something like the zombies mode or search and destroy, instead of having a shooting range, you have a basketball court.
Like, what's the point?
But again, there's just no other game quite like this in VR. If you've been looking for something Call of Duty-esque for virtual reality multiplayer, you really don't need to look any further than this because this is it. There's definitely some ambitious elements to some of these modded maps, like outside of the Call of Duty stuff, there's maps like a strip club with NPCs that you can kind of blend in with and hide.
Now he got me.
It's a little weird, but it's pretty cool, man. It's just more stuff for you to interact with and have fun with in this game. There's so much bang for your buck here that you're gonna have a great time with it regardless. This isn't the usual retrospective stuff I talk about, and I really don't know why I made this video. I just wanted an excuse to talk about Contractors and how good it is, and how if you're looking for a VR multiplayer shooter, this one should be on your radar. I mean, it shouldn't even be on your radar. You should already be checking out with it right now. This shouldn't even be in your cart anymore. You should have it purchased and it should be downloading. I should be receiving a commission for boasting about this game as much as I am. I probably shouldn't be showing this in the background. This video is going to get age restricted. If there's any VR content that you want me to cover or that you're interested in or that you're looking for, let me know in the comments. I've been sleeping on it for a while because I had some issues with the laptop. If you've been following me that long, you probably know what I'm talking about. If not, that's a whole nother story. But until next time, guys, I hope you have a good one. More retrospective stuff on the way, and yeah, I'll see you then. Later.